Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, people from everywhere around the world. My name is Monique, and I am French Canadian, and I'm here with you today to tell you what's going on with the world, and specifically with the fact that I have been receiving the new royal crown from UK. It's been happening silently because there is a lot of political issue with this, as the Queen has decided not to transfer her power to her own family. So actually, you read in between the lines, it means that formally the king has stolen the title after they've been opening the will and decided not to tell the world what was happening. But actually, it's been all coming out because the inheritance, and I don't know how they did, and we'll let them say that part because for me it's not that important. What's important, it's who's been playing in the background for you to understand better what's going on and to be able to work together at moving forward, because they're going to stuck us into that one world order, whatever we want to do. So they've been pushing it and lying more and more as we stress them more and more at we just had that little fly coming through. And so it's been just a very difficult time for me, truly for me, because you haven't seen it behind the scene, but actually since February 2023, I've been under huge attack from Illuminati and all the people linked with Illuminati in Hollywood, the high power. And I refer to the president there that is in place in USA right now, that is himself used to be part of Hollywood people. And we also have all his acolytes, so all his boys from his team, the ones that had been investing, and I'm going to call him Leon. But so all those guys are all linked with the darkness right now. And they've been like the backyard gang, I would say, that are just trying to stick something in my wheels to move forward, get that inheritance, and make the move to bring humanity in a better place. Because the role of a royal is very much linked to the power of God. So I don't know if you know that, but it's quite interesting. I'm very close to God. I've been all my life. And if you don't know who I am, I have been myself an occupational health nurse working for petrol companies, mining, and I've been having my business for 10 years, doing mostly auditing and rectification of how they've been managing around taking care of employees in industries. So I have a good understanding of every level of a business. I've worked at many different places. I have a very wide span of expertise, starting from working as a nurse in prisons, in high security prisons, and going to working for governments, making my own project, changing strategy. I've been working for mines, working for Chinese companies, and I've done a lot of stuff in my life, and I'm also a technician in industrial hygiene. So it's industrial hygiene is very much the health side of engineering. So it's meaning everything that is an exposure related to anything they produce in an industry, those exposures and how it affects employee, the dose and the amount of exposure you can have in a day, and so on. So I have important understanding of people needs, and I have an expertise too in first intervention. So it's not ambulance. It's first interventions is the first critical response, medical response in specific sites like petroleum companies and mining. So everything that is emergency response before we even get those people into an ambulance. So I have a lot of skills. I've seen a lot in my life, and I've saved a lot of people in my life as well. So it's a learning that I think makes me in very good position to deal with those people and all the lies they're largely spraying in their conversation. So it's going to be interesting, and I want to first make you know more who I am, so I get some trust from you, and that you see who I am and where I want to go, first with that crown, and with all that is related to that crown and God, and how it goes together, and why there are royals around the world. And it's very important that you understand this, because this is how we can make a real true change in that world and make it better. Actually, we've been pushed away from God very much, and it links very much with the industry. They don't want you to link with God, because what they want to do is insert that God in a computer, so you follow the command of a God that is coming from a system and not the real God, because there is truly a higher power that is managing all of this. And when I started to discover that all this attack was happening to me, I did not know that I was so searched and so kept isolated and hidden as well, because my parent never told me. And I don't know why, but probably because themselves, they've suffered a lot, so they didn't want me to suffer, or they had made agreements with those dark people, because it's been going on for many years. It's just getting stronger and more powerful now, as more people learned those dark ways of doing things with the industry, and lying to people or manipulating their mind in understanding different ways of making you need things that you don't need, you know. And I'm not bringing anything different to you, and that's why I want to have that conversation with you, so you understand what's going on, and it is very important. And I will, and have been, and I'm telling you, I've been saying the day first time they tried to kill me, and I remember July 2024, and they had turned everyone around me, my friends, my family, making them believe big lies to discredit my personality, discredit what was my intention. And they've been putting on such a big scenario. They've been, and I'm telling you, because it it's important that you listen carefully, because what they did to me, it's exactly what's happening around the world right now. So they create narrative. And probably you did experience that in your past. They create a narrative to disrupt your life so critically that you don't even know on which side you're going to take the octopus, not knowing if you stick yourself into bigger problems or not. And everything starts with accusing you to being mentally unstable. And for being a medical person, it's probably the thing that most people fear. So what did they do? So they convinced those people that I was unable to receive that inheritance, that they had to prove it. So they started to convince a ton of people to follow me and to bring them the information. And they've been paying people to block my way. An example of it is you make a contact on your phone with someone for a service, and the person never calls you back. And then you try another one. And then you have a need to say you need to repair something in your house. And that second person call you and say they're gonna come to your house, but they never come. And then you get to a third one and a fourth one. Just imagine like this on everything that is going on in your life. Everything is an obstacle. And every time that you have enough, they're waiting for you to explode, to bring the worst side of you, to prove that you're an unstable person. So they create odd situation to prove a narrative that is completely fabricated, because you're probably the one holding everyone together up to this point, but they want something from you. So actually, this is exactly what's happening with that one world order. That's what they do in different ways. Look at it. They disrupt things. They block it. They make your life difficult. And it could be with taxes. It could be with anything. And you think that your life is just going wrong, but what you don't know, it's all created. It's all fabricated. But you're not going to tell it because you fear you're going to be named paranoiac or crazy. And how do you defend that in a world where all the lawyers and all the people that are supposed to be your safety, social workers, hospital, they accept money to betray their honor, their integrity. So the system at base, this is how it works. So you buy someone that has a title to make the narrative go your way, so you benefit of something. So it could be anything. So since pandemic, we've seen a lot of this appearing, and it was part of a marketing that included stocking us in our houses to see how much patience we have before we explode and want our rights to be respected. But they went really far, and it's very important that we look at ourselves right now and be honest and make sure that we are able to say, I did this. I was wrong, but I can do better. because now I know. And the incentive that was used was social collaboration. So those are all very emotional strategies, and they're always using that emotional state to bring themselves somewhere. And the need is to control you. So they're using the shame, the fear, and they're playing on your self-esteem and your integrity. How do we address this? There are not many ways. We have first to excuse ourselves that we did that mistake, to accept to be controlled in such a massive way, to refuse the real information, calling them with that same strategy, intellectually calling those experts that wanted to help us conspirationists, crazy, and in the shade, sending them, using their medical order, bullying them to remove them their license if they go against the will. Those are the things that they're not telling you. It's not all that has been happening, not the vaccination and all that stuff, because there are so many theories right now about it. But actually, none of them address the real issue. The real issue was exactly what they're doing right now. WEF conference was to implement a strategy that would value anything that doesn't make sense for you. Like we've heard all their environmental strategies as they fly jets, as they build objects using petrol at the extreme and mining at the extreme, and where they don't provide any support for medical, but they spend for parties one after the other. They help. And I think it's funny because when I know the whole story, I'm very sorry, but when I know the whole complete story, it's almost a circus. It's almost a impossible. It's a Netflix story in a way. And I laugh at it because we have to laugh at it because it is, let's say it this way, it's very intelligent marketing. That's what it is, because who did that? It's not all those smart elite. It's a marketing company that knows all the important behaviors of human. And what they did is they built for 50 years a plan that slowly led to taking control of you. And as I was saying, when I saw people complaining about ID cards, actually, the phone is an ID card. Everything is attached to this. You have it with you all day. They listen to you, they track you, and you don't know because they're not going to tell you this. But this is exactly what's happening. When you use your debit card, it goes to your bank account that is attached to your phone. And it's never ending. It's never ending. So they've been controlling you for quite a while. And everything that is security and especially USA and probably other places too, because it's not something that is only happening in USA. I say USA because those were the one attacking me. But they probably been building this at military level and decided that it would be nice to use it to control humanity. So anything that you buy that is useless, and how many things you have in your house after 2-3 years that you throw in the garbage that are useless or broken or that you had to replace because it didn't last very long. It's made for replacement. It's made to, and it's using planet resources. But they never say anything about it. And it's using carbons. And they're the one doing it, not you and me. But they want to make it big like this so you feel intelligent when you talk about environment and the temperature that is changing. Well, gosh, with the age that I have, nothing had changed. The level of where the lake where I live is the same. And if I had stick a something in the ground, I think nothing would be different. I've been living here for very long enough to say that no, nothing is changing. The level of the lake is the same, and the trees are blooming every year, and there's not more or less sickness, and the fish are in the lake, and yeah, there are things that had been disappearing, but not because of the environment, because of the industry. So that's why I laugh, because sometimes when you listen to it with a certain detachment, you hear things and you say, oh my God, are they really thinking we are that stupid? And when we say nothing, we say they hear, yes, they're stupid because they're not reacting. And they are right in a certain way. Let's be honest. So it's fun to take the time just to have a moment and think about who we are as a humanity. I've been totally overwhelmed 3 years ago when they started to attack me. And mainly because I was becoming a grandmother for the first time. And as I was learning about all that darkness and their way they were doing spell and all that stuff, I just couldn't believe it. I didn't know about it. I could not really believe that it would attack me or do any difference until I felt the difference after it was removed. And it's been quite interesting, let's take it this way, how much they can do with that darkness and how much they're using technology to control you. And they've been installing technology of waves to control how you make decisions. And from what I understand, I've been talking to a few military people that told me that they've been suffering deeply health damages because they were forced at taking those vaccines a while ago, way before we were getting it. And this person had to leave the army because he was so sick. So they knew way before what they were doing. And the thing is, graphene is a very nanoparticles. It's very tiny. It's very you can't even see it. It's not even sand. It's powder. So they put it in a lipid bubble and they inject it in the body. So what it does is it's creating that metal in your blood. It's floating, and they can move it wherever they want, depending on the wave and all that stuff. So it's very complicated, and I'm not here. I just want you to know that you're probably not gonna die from the injection. Truly, you may get reaction for your body that want to reject that, and maybe that's why, physically talking, that your body is reacting to cancer or any other stuff that they've been saying it's doing. But we're not here to discuss this. I just want to remind you where we started first is how they're able, using emotional situation, to control where we go. And how they're able to do this is when we lose what our grandparents were often saying: use common sense. Use common sense. Common sense. Does it make sense? And if you're not sure, ask for more information. And if you don't get the information, it's good enough. It's good enough to don't take that decision, because the responsibility of a government is to protect you and is to provide you with all the information necessary. And if you are even able to say that they've been hiding a little bit, that traffic your possibility to make a enlightened decision, it's enough to say that they didn't do their work. And if they knew that it was even killing people, we all know this. I'm not bringing anything new to you. I'm just shaking the discussion a little bit. And we're now 7 years after that, and everyone has forgot. We're already far away. Nobody has requested any sort of due diligence responsibility, criminal responsibility, to any of the leaders of this planet. If you were falsely directed, it's very easy to claim. But if it has been created from your own country, your own public health system that is supposed to protect your citizen with the right information, and you discover that it's a totally fabricated strategy, and all the medical recommendation has been totally focused on only one strategy, as there were formally, professionally already known many other strategies that would have helped if they were uncertain that the vaccine would be safe. So we are here in a situation where I want to bring you back to those leaders and how they've been fighting like actors on television. And they've been very good at it. And as we are all human, very impressed by the rich people and celebrities. It is very complicated to cut off where exactly human needs to reconnect in their own values, in their own choices for their life, and how we've lost so much of our common sense into protecting ourselves as human, as a one human. And we give to others the responsibility to make decisions for ourselves, but we're totally and easily able to have that common sense. And I'm sure that I tell you this and I see people nodding, because that's what we did. We abandoned our capacity to judge for ourselves what is true for us or not, because at base, self-esteem is what drives you. And if the value in your head goes to being rich in any kind of way, betraying humanity, or being taken care because you totally abandoned your own humanity, I repeat, because you totally abandoned your own capacity at judging for yourself what's good or not for you. So you let leaders tell you what you need for you. And as you buy in, and we're all responsible about it, because we've bought in finding happiness in objects instead of working on our self-esteem, creating our human rules, investing ourselves in our humanity, looking after our base needs, eating, having a roof, water, and all those basic needs. After we've done that, then we can move a step. I was just looking at a text done by Elon Musk where he said that people in poverty need internet. I just said, yes, you're sure that's right? I think that's the right solution. That's why you want to be a president. And we see that common sense is what you're showing for humanity. The problem is not what he says. He can say whatever he wants. This guy works for himself like any other elites in the world. They all work for their own pockets because they've learned to work for themselves. So what you need to do is relearn to work for yourself first, regaining your self-esteem, your capacity of self-judgment for what's good or not for you. It's quite fun when we think about it. It's quite fun. I think with my whole experience in life, I I can say that most of the time when I was with people, and my role was mainly to be with them and making sure that those people, when they were coming in doing a very risky job, they were able to have the proper judgment and the mental and health condition to address what was required in that job, which makes a lot of sense, you know. So if there is a situation that makes that judgment difficult, you just pull them out a little bit so they take the breath they need to take care of themselves, repair what's broken, and then reintroduce that work. That is taking care of people. Ignoring it is terrible. But it defines very much how we've lost our self-integrity. Because if we do have that integrity, that common sense, you won't allow it to happen. You will say, no, stop it. No, you're not going to do this to me. Because I take care of myself. And then you can add, I've seen the other people here that are maybe my kids because they're not adults yet. And I'm responsible for the judgment they are not yet completely formed. And this is your role of parents at building your kids' self-esteem so you get to that self-esteem capacity to judge for yourself what's good or not. This brings us to what they're doing to us right now. They're deciding for us what side of things will be the correct one for humanity. As we all know that basic needs is exactly what you need at first. Look at that, make that all around the world, and it's going to be easy. You can spend millions and trillions of dollars on sending a rocket on another planet. And how many wells for water could you construct with this? But because you want to go to Mars, you make anyone else march to your orders. You're all gonna get a little chip in your head, and you're all gonna work, and then you're not gonna be late, and you're not gonna be sick, and we're gonna tell you when you can be sick, and then when you're sick, we're not gonna pay you because you're not insured anymore because you have not done this and this. I see it coming. It was already there, all the comments of those people that are managing business complaining about people that are sick, but never adjusting their work contract. It becomes a huge lie of the industry. You're hired for that job. Along the way, you get more responsibility. Oh, this person goes, and then you add it up, and you add it up. And then when you get sick and you need your insurance, you've been doing that big job, never paid for it. And then you're going to get back to the base contract where you were just doing this. So you're not getting other privilege. So if you need to get back to job, you're not getting that big job because the definition of your job is just picking the newspaper and putting in the garbage. But who's responsible for this is how, as a humanity, we've abandoned ourselves at being betrayed. And it got to that level right now we are in. It's not an easy thing, but I don't mind talking about it. It's been my job all my life to sit down with people and look at things in the eyes, to be sure that we align the situation to be able to make an enlightened decision for ourselves. A lot of depressions are attached to how much we've abandoned of ourselves along the way. And we got to a certain point where we say, I don't find myself anymore here because this is who I am and all the betray that I did along the way. And I'm here and I'm totally unhappy. I work crazy to pay all that I've been supposed to be happy with, and I'm still not happy because I lost this person here. To be what they're saying, where is the happiness? And there's no happiness there, but you're still that person. So I'm going to come regularly with you. And I think the best way to find solution to things that doesn't make sense anymore is to make it make sense ourselves. And I promised myself, I don't promise you, I promised myself, as I did in December 2023, where my granddaughter was almost not doing it, being few weeks, at a time where strange viruses were always leaking in the background. And I said, I'm not going to let that little kid in that world over my dead body. They tried to kill me so many times. You hear me. I don't care. I will fight. And you can continue to try to kill me. It is something from every day almost. They're continuing to betray me, play in my capacity financially to continue. They block the privilege of any contract. They are just, remember the boys in the backyard at school? They're doing things like pulling hair of little girls, and then they're doing the mess, and then you try to complain, and then you're told, but don't stay around them. I won't stay around you. I will move forward. Thank you for taking the time to listening with me. Merci à tous ceux qui sont restés jusqu'au bout. Thank you for everyone that stayed up to the end. And I promise I will come back. And I will introduce you to my thinking, having God in my life, and how it's been helping me. But it's been the story of a lot of people right now. And they don't want us to believe, because spiritually it's removing their power, because darkness is also dark spirituality. So they work with waves, and we'll talk about that too. It's a way of understanding our world that we don't really understand. And if you allow me, I will just tell you a little bit more and how I got into it. So it's going to be very simple because I'm not an expert. There are a lot of people that knows a lot, and then they become very interesting as you realize that it's not so false and it's really happening. People, I love humanity. I've been taking care of people all my life, and I have enough experience to tell you that I will not give up. It is my purpose. It is why God had put me here on this planet, and I will achieve no matter what. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Take time to talk to each other. Set yourself rules, family rules, and follow it. You'll see happiness will come back very fast. It's very difficult, I'm telling you, because they've destroyed everything in my family, and I don't know how I'm going to reknit that, but that's okay. We take things one day at a time. And this is how we change things, one day at a time. Take care. Bye-bye.